thank you very much for this intriguing performance. Until Anna comes, can you tell us about your pink hair?
The pink hair is very random in the sense of choice. I came into rehearsal once with pink hair and thought that it's going to be very kind of black for and then we decided, to bring the pink together. But it's pretty random. It's like a last chord thing.
And Chip mentioned that their hair is actually pink, and it's permanent pink. So mine is just fake.
I
didn't have enough courage to have permanent pink.
He's gonna come off tonight. Mine's gonna come off in a month.
Yeah.
But actually it looked really cool on stage. It was catching our attention immediately. It is such a bold color, and I had the idea in the very first minute that you are trying to do something bold here. Or you are a little bit, punk, or a little bit rebels. And I also had this feeling during the performance here. Am I right to say that you are a little bit a punk or I don't mean the musical genre punk, but punk is that.
I think punk wasn't inspiration right away. I think she will come at some point, but it wasn't really punk. She just wanted to have us look cute, actually. So I think it was rather cute than punk. Then, the performance developed in a way that my character developed into this kind of pink-haired, very negative punk guy with military boots, but this, I think, it shows possibilities that pink hair can actually offer. So it can look cute, but it can also represent something rather aggressive, I guess. Okay.
What was the point when you decided, or when was the point when you came on stage? I mean, for the first time during the creation process, when you decided you're going to come on stage as well?
It wasn't really my decision.
You were forced to do it?
No. The way this performance was created, the scenes you have seen on stage today are about kind of represent maybe 30 or 40% of the total work process we had. We had a lot of ideas, out of which we had to pick out the best ones. So this scene of Bundy and I, it started off, well, first of all, we started doing it in Hungarian. And originally, I think it was
animal names.
Yeah, I was asking Bundy to imitate animals, and that's this howling he could do so well was practically the only sound we could produce. But then we decided to do it in English, and animals in English didn't sound as funny as in Hungarian. So we decided eventually to change the thematic content of the scene and make it something more obnoxious and something more unpleasant to watch, or funny in its own sarcastic and sick way. Okay.
Also, I think it also came from this scene with me with this strange creature that's crawling around and that has this sound. This was kind of we had this scene kind of, or not scene, but this image of this creature crawling around and having this double quality of being like an animal and walking around and having this shaking ass twerking, something to twist it like, is it punk or is it cute or is it sexy or is it weird? And then yeah, like we had that and from that came our dialogue after,
We were actually working backwards because we had this creature already, but we had to invent a scene as a result of which this creature would become what it is. And then we had the idea of creating a drama on stage that kind of produces this reaction or brings out something of one of these characters, something which is present deeper in this being, and this was the creature.
So, what are we talking about?
First I asked about pink hair and everybody told their version.
I can tell mine. I saw Bundy once when we were rehearsing in Marta's piece. And I really liked it. So we had the idea going to have a party together with pink hair. Like for half a year we had tried to organize a party with pink hair, but then it just did not happen. And then we decided to work together, and then somehow it came up that then we have to paint our hair with the piece. Yeah, that was it.
As I said before, it was very surprising, actually. So you start to think about it immediately. When I saw you on the stage, it was like, wow, pink hair, what's this? So, and it was implying that you are doing something courageous and something. I also saw rebellious and punkish, but the guy said it's not really like that.
It is like that. Yeah, and it's also, I think it's more to create a world which has different colors, which has like more bright things, more visible emotions, more like maybe brave creatures, like to see more differences in the street or in this world, and it's kind of one side.
How did the story of creation come into this piece? Was it just a sample, and when you were singing about creation and Big Bang? Was it just a sound, using the sound where you were singing? It was about the cosmic organism and the Big Bang, and how did it connect to the piece? Or when did it come up that you are going to go so far?
So far, it was quite the end. I think it was the last weeks that we came up with this idea. Yeah.
It came from you reading the book.
Yes, actually, I had a few days living at Adam's place this summer, and I was sitting in the living room and I just found this book and I started to read it, but somehow immediately I started to read it by singing it loud. So I just, okay, I had this idea to use this in the piece, and then after I just was looking for different parts of the book which are interesting as a topic. Yeah, and to talk about it. Yeah.
And when you started to do the choreography, did you go by improvising, or did you have something like ideas in your mind, images in your mind that you wanted to create?
It was a lot of improvising. It was sometimes like a clear idea of a quality quality, of a bodily quality, or to connect emotion in the body. And then the creatures more or less just came and up and popped during these sessions.
Yeah, but like some material some were made by Pro, but some was also coming from little bits coming from other processes, or others were like images of like, we call it the found, the one that I call yours, with the little dog walking. And there were also some that were not improvised, but like we built it from scratch.
During the rehearsals, did you also explore each other, just like these, like your relationship is sometimes very ambivalent. But you are also connected in a very large space during the performance. So you are noticing each other, taking signs from each other. You do keep contact, even though you are not moving parallel, and then you come close at the end. So how did you explore this relationship? How did it evolve between the two of you?
Actually, it comes back to my mind that we had some points in the process when we were sometimes unintentionally but working with miscommunication. Like not being like, I don't know, we had like duets where we tried to do it good but it always failed, or it just happened something. Yeah, we work with it. Also with touch sometimes. With
the space and how the whole build-up came, it was more intuitive, like to have these scenes. We had these scenes with different relations, with different communication, with different stories, and then we did not really know how they come together one after the other, but when we already had these scenes, we somehow more intuitively could put them together to feel them from the inside as a story. Yeah. I mean, we have a story.
Yeah, and everyone can have a story too, so... are there any questions from the audience? Or somebody would like to give feedback to the artist? Or ask somebody? Yeah?
Did you all meet at Harvard University, and what year did you graduate?
It's a compliment on your English, I guess.
we did not meet at Harvard. But we used to go to we used to be in the same high school.
But I went there 12 years earlier.
And me like 2 years.
Yeah. No same schools at all. But yeah, I went to universities. I went to universities.
I'm going to university.
All right.
Are there some questions? Anybody like to say something or an impression about the performance? What I would like to mention is
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Something about. Do we really need a microphone here? Something about the aesthetics, which I was wondering about while I was watching the play. So, what drives the piece forward aesthetically? Is it pain or is it acrobatics?
Sorry, is it?
Pain, yeah. Acrobatics.
Hey.
Definitely.
That's the
If you say pain, probably more like, because also the core, like when we started working on it, and they had this idea of working with emotions, and then we started, but it was like a starting point, and then a lot of things evolved from that. But in that sense, I think it's more, if it's a choice between pain and acrobatics, I think it's more like pain.
Do you have another? Something, if there is a choice, so is there an alternative?
We have, I would say, desire to connect.
You have a very good explanation to that connection thing.
To what drives the aesthetic aspect of the piece forward. And actually, we were talking a lot about the piece, and for me, what this piece is about is about verbality and the possible nature of making verbal connection many times, because practically I'm the only one in the piece who can actually speak, but this whole situation is very absurd, and speech in this case reveals something very dark, very manipulative, and very obsessive. While they never speak. They either sing or make weird voices. Sometimes it's beautiful. Sometimes it's ugly, and it shifts from ugliness to beauty and back all the time. But for me, that was like the main core of this piece. What does speaking mean? What does expressing your emotions through sound mean? And the connection between sound and movement is also, I think, very important aspect of this piece.
Good. Thank you.
Maybe I didn't understand it or didn't read it well. I had the question if you made the piece all together, or there was one of you who took all the decisions. Was it collectively, or I was trying to figure out.
Good question. I was the initiator. I asked them to work together. So that's how we came together. And mostly when we went to the space, sometimes I came up with tasks, but then sometimes we started somewhere which was a task and ended up in having fun, and then a lot of times scenes happened when we had a lot of fun. Just so.
But who took the final decisions then?
How do you make your final decision?
Discussion. Often.
So that you all agree, or?
No.
No.
No. Anna
I kind of did, yes. But say.
No, you have the, if it's a crucial decision in the end, I think Anna was the one that can go okay, we stick to this. But if it's really more if it's also you initiating something, then you also ask back, do you think it's good, or often Adam is the only one that's watching it from outside because we're both working on it. So the only feedback is Adam often, and then we go with what Adam's aesthetic, dictates. So it's kind of common, but it's like a bit of a democracy. I don't know. It works in it.
How long did you work? How long was the process?
Well, we started in April, but we had periods of works and then weeks or sometimes a month break, because that's how it could happen.
Did you sum up? Did you
sum up the whole time you were working? How long, like approximately, could it be?
Maybe 3 months.
You're there. I've been taking notes, but I've been writing up just some words because it was really hard. Well, what do you think about this? If people are watching your show, and do they have to try to find the sense, or just enjoy, or just leave it up to them what they take home?
I kind of believe that everybody has a different approach to be part of an audience. So some look for sense, some are really open to have only emotional stuff, but if I'm the only one, I can talk about only about myself, but as an audience, I always like when I can more sense and not understand, but have a clear impression, but also like to have some kind of wholeness, but not just finding links or thinking about what is what. But that's me, and it's like everybody's totally different as a brain structure.
I'm just asking because most of the people don't come to contemporary dance because they think they won't even understand. This is such a barrier. They're trying to make sense, and if it doesn't make sense in their way or in their system, then they think it's something wrong with them or something wrong with the performer. What do you think about this?
I think if you, also if you break down the piece to little parts, there are very different ways of how we inside understand different parts. So it's like the whole, it's not if we have an understanding, it's not like a story written down in a book as well, I think. Like it's more of a sense of, we can connect to what he said about this thing of trying to communicate through the voice and movement, but not being able to do it in a normal way, but yeah, I think as an audience, it's kind of open how you interpret it. If you want to make a story out of it.
I think once we perform the piece and people see it, we don't really have control over what happens with it. I mean, that's okay. That's a good thing. And sometimes we would read reviews about our piece, either good or bad. It doesn't matter. But the fact that someone has his or her own impression of the piece might even open up some variables in our mind as well. So it's. I personally, I don't think about how certain music that I do or a certain scene that I do, how would that come across to the audience. I just don't think about it that much. I have my own impression of it, and if it is good, then it will get across no matter what the reaction will be. There will be a reaction, but I don't really have a control over what that reaction will actually be. And that's good, that's liberating.
But I think, I mean, it's really good and interesting what you said, but I think that music is like something such more like direct, that people don't really ask the same thing about music, you know, like they just get it. But in dance, it's really not the same. Or in theater, it's also like more easy because like there's more verbal stuff there, so people can get it. But with the bodily expressions or body communication, is somehow not really understandable. But I don't know why.
It might be partly the non-verbality that's changing. And do you think maybe we are just more disconnected from our bodies? Maybe?
Kind of, I think so.
What do you think, Bobby?
I agree with him. No, I don't really have to add up to that.
I think this was a wonderful ending. So, thank you very much for your attention and congratulations, and thank you very much for this wonderful performance. And we'll see each other tomorrow.